Come on, y'all. What it is, what it do. It's your boy Alan C and the place to be. And you are now listening to You Buggin. Back for a brand new season. Hopefully this time we're gonna keep it going the full season. Before we get the show underway, you see the IG at Al underscore you underscore bugging. Also YouTube at Al underscore you underscore bugging. Also Twitter at Al underscore the letter U underscore bugging. All right, before we get into it, let me send a shout out to my Sideline Talk family, my Sideline Talk brothers. Shout out to Coach Tay, Coach Herb, John. Y'all more than welcome to come and join me during this season, during this ride. I appreciate y'all. But let me go ahead and kick off what we came to do this season, this show. We'll talk about the Hall of Fame game first. All right, so we had the Texans versus the Bears in the Hall of Fame game. The Bears won 34-17, so we're around there. But the game was cut short. The game ended with 3 minutes and 31 seconds left in the third quarter. There's a lot of offense in that game. Offense was moving the ball. But that's to be expected with pads just coming out for practice or for training camp, a few weeks ago. So that's to be expected. The offense is supposed to be ahead of the defense at this point. So this Hall of Fame game introduced the brand new kickoff format. Also, as well, the new hip drop tackle. I don't know what your thoughts are on the hip drop tackle being banned and the new kickoff format, but I'll tell you mine. When it first came and was announced, I was not happy about it at all. I thought they was changing the game of football. And they're trying to make it for people to score more. It's not a bad thing. And you want the offense to lead the way. Offense sells tickets, as they say. So you want the offense to be out there and to score more points. Now that I look at the kickoff rules, I'm for it for the simple fact that now it forces special teams coaches to actually earn their money. You have different ways that you can set up with this new thing, and innovation creates offense. I mean, things such as the flea flicker, things such as the RPO, things such as the Wildcat, all led to having now everybody has to have a mobile quarterback. This all came through innovation. So innovating the game of football is never a bad thing, and so I'm all for that. So I commit when I'm wrong, and for right now, I think I'm wrong on that. But back to the game, Bears' third quarterback went off. He's technically the third quarterback. You have Caleb Williams, who was projected to be the starter. He didn't play any snaps last night. Tyler Badgett started. He's currently slotted to be the second quarterback, I'm guessing. And then third quarterback Brett Ripien came in. Looked pretty decent. He might be challenging for that backup spot if I'm being honest with you. He went 11 for 15, 166 yards and 3 touchdowns. Constantly moved the ball with ease. Like I said, they canceled the game, but that's exactly where he was, he was heating up. And on the other side for the Texans, Cam Akers was going off. He was starting to get his rhythm before they actually canceled the game. Cam Akers is probably going to be the third running back. They brought in Joe Mixon from Cincinnati, who's going to get the start. And then you have Dameon Pierce. Sorry, name slipped my mind. Dameon Pierce is going to be the second running back for the Texans. So you got those three backs probably. Mixon, Pierce, and Akers. So Akers was, getting some run last night, Mixon and Pierce obviously did not play. All right, but again, it says the Hall of Fame game. So let's talk about who's getting into the Hall of Fame this weekend. Yeah, you see it, the Hall of Famers. You have the White Franey, former Colt, former Charger, Cardinal, Falcon, Seahawk, and Lion, Super Bowl champion, 3-time first team All Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler, 125 and a half sacks, is just 18th of all time. You also have Julius Peppers, former Panther, Bear, and Packer, former Defensive Rookie of the Year, 3-time first team All Pro, 9-time Pro Bowl, 159 and a half sacks. This is 4th all time. So shout out to both of them, top 20 sacks, getting in on the same Pro Bowl class. I remember watching them coming up. Franey, the only person I could say as a Ravens fan did not trust Jonathan Ogden on him one-on-one. Franey was that deal. And Julius Peppers, another all-decade, 2000 and 2010, I believe, team. So Peppers was nice for a long while there. And then you also have all-time return man, most career return TDs, most career punt return TDs, Devin Hester, former Bear, former Falcon, Raven, Seahawk, 3-time first team All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler. Andre Johnson also is getting into the Hall of Fame. Texans, Colts, and Titans, 2-time first team All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler. 2 times you led the league in catches and 2 times you led the league in receiving yards. Steve McMichaels, former Patriot, Bear, and Packer, Super Bowl champion with the Bears, 2-time first team All-Pro and 2-time Pro Bowler. Patrick Willis, this was another guy on this class that I watched. Patrick Willis was one of the best linebackers when he was playing. And there was always that argument between Pat Will and Luke Kuechly. So being that Pat Will gets into this class, we'll see what happens with Luke. But Pat Willis, former Defensive Rookie of the Year, 5-time first team All-Pro, and 7-time Pro Bowler. Randy Gardashaw, former Defensive Bronco. To say this again, I'm butchering this. Randy Gradisher, former Denver Bronco, former Defensive Player of the Year, 1978, linebacker, 2-time first team All-Pro, and 7-time Pro Bowl recipient. They get in, to the Hall of Fame on Saturday. So it's going to be amazing to watch them go in. Job well done, fellas. Those players that I watch, thank you for making me fall in love with the game. I appreciate it. All right. So some more preseason coming at you. This one is going to be on August the 8th. This is Thursday games. You got the Detroit Lions versus the New York Giants. So New York Giants first-round pick Malik Neighbors going up against the Lions first-round pick Terrion Arnold. The Lions rookie corners. I want to see that matchup. I want to see if this offensive line for the Giants could get some consistency because they were struggling the last few years. So hopefully they can get some consistency and some cohesion with this. I'm not sure if Daniel Jones is going to play, but he needs to get back in the rhythm. He suffered a knee injury at the end of the year, I believe week 9, I believe it was. So I'm looking to see if he can get into rhythm. On the other side, for the Lions, rookie Sion Vakai, he should get some of the heavy lifting. Jahmyr Gibbs last year, rookie phenom running back, has solidified his spot at number 1. I don't see him playing much if he do play at all. He might get a drive or so. But Sion Vakai, rookie, he was a safety at Utah, and he played running back sparingly. So he's full-time running back with the Lions now. So let's see if he can actually, take off. as a running back, drafted by Detroit in the 4th round. The Lions also added a bunch of defense in this draft. So I'm looking to see how many of these defensive players play. They added Tarion Arnold. They added in this Rakestraw. They added some pass rushers. They added a linebacker, I believe. So just want to see how much heavy lifting the rookies get, how often they get in. Next preseason game, also the same day, is the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. I don't know if rookie Drake May is going to get some snaps, but he should. If he doesn't, look out for rookie Joe Milton, the strongest arm in this draft class. When I tell you this guy can throw the ball a country mile, believe me, he can throw that ball a country mile. And he can move. So Drake better be careful. I know you're number 3 pick, but Robert RG3 was the number 2 pick, and you see what happened with Kirk Cousins. So Drake being the 3rd pick, 4th round pick Joe Milton. Watch out. You heard it here first. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, Drake. I think Drake and Milton going to go ahead and get some snaps in that first preseason game. Jacoby Brissett may get some run, but maybe not. Bryce Young on the other side for the Panthers. Bryce Young definitely needs to get some run. I need Bryce Young out there playing with this offensive line because this is another offensive line that struggled. Bryce needs to go ahead and get some time down with their rookie, Xavier Legette. I believe he was picked in the 2nd round, if I'm not mistaken, out of South Carolina. And when I tell you the boy can run some routes, then he could be a steal of the draft if Bryce Young gets it together and gets the ball to him. But yeah, looking forward to seeing that on next Thursday. It's the first preseason action, the first preseason week. It's going to be games on next Friday, Thursday, and I believe Saturday as well, coming up. All right. So now that we got that preseason out the way, I want to do what I consider the beast of the East. I'm going to start with the NFC East first. I'm going to talk about the coach rankings, arrivals. Let me just go ahead and pull it up. Y'all see it when I pull it up. The coaches of the NFC East in order for me: Mike McCarthy, Nick Sirianni. I'm going to put Dan Quinn above Brian Daboll for now. Dan Quinn has had Super Bowl experience as a head coach with the Falcons before that all came crashing down. Remember 28-3, he was the head coach for that team. But I'm going to put Dan Quinn ahead of Brian Daboll for now. So Mike McCarthy, Nick Sirianni, Dan Quinn, Brian Daboll are the coaches in the NFC East. So speaking of who they added, the Dallas Cowboys added Ezekiel Elliott back. They get him back. They added Royce Freeman, also a running back. And then they added Eric Kendricks, linebacker. I believe he was with Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. But they lost in free agency, man. They lost some big pieces. They lost Michael Gallup. They lost their running back, Tony Pollard. They lost their left tackle, Tyron Smith. And they lost their starting center, Tyler Biadasz. So we want to see what they look like without those pieces. For the Commanders, they gained, Zach Ertz, Austin Eckler, Tyler Biadasz went from the Cowboys to the Commanders, and Dan Quinn gets his captain back, Bobby Wagner. Dan Quinn and Bobby Wagner go back to the LOB days of Seattle, so he brought Bobby Wagner over. They did lose Curtis Samuel, Cameron Curl, Jacoby Brissett, and Antonio Gibson. So that could prove to be costly for them. But on the Eagles side, they gained running back Saquon Barkley switched sides in the AFC East. They also got Zach Braun, tight end. They got Matt Hennessy. They got Bryce Huff, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Devin White. So they fixed up their defense, but they lost the cap, Fletcher Cox, Jason Kelsey, Quez Watkins, wide receiver, and their running backs, DeAndre Swift and Boston Scott, went to another team. For the Giants, they got Brian Burns in the trade. They picked up Jalen Mills, Devin Singletary, and Jordan Phillips, defensive end. But they lost, like I said, Saquon Barkley in the mix. They lost Jahad Ward in the mix. They lost Shane Lemieux and Ben Bredesen. You know, like I said, I just talked about who they lost. I should have did that on this stat. But all right. So for the Giants, they picked up Malik Neighbors as the 6th pick. In the 2nd round, they got Tyler Nubin. In the 3rd round, they got Andrew Phillips. Those 3 guys, like I said, they should be playing when they kick off on August 8th. Also, I'm looking for Theo Johnson, Tyrone Tracy, and Darius Musau for the Giants. On the Commander side, they picked the number 2. They picked JD, the current Heisman Trophy winner out of LSU, Jaden Daniels. Jer'Zwan Newton in the 2nd round could also be a potential sleeper and steal for them. For the Eagles, 22nd pick, Quinion Mitchell. I had him ranked the highest corner on my board. So they picked him. No, 2nd highest. Sorry, Tyrone Arnold, and then Quinion Mitchell. So they picked a good corner, in my opinion. Cooper DeJuan. I don't know where you can mix him. You can play him at corner. You can play him at safety. He's an amazing player as well. What else did they get? Oh, they got Will Shipley as well. I like Will Shipley. They got Aeneas Smith out of Texas A&M, wide receiver. And then they also picked up Jeremiah Trotter, son, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. out of Clemson in the 5th round. So look forward to seeing them make their splash plays. And then for the Cowboys, they picked up Tyler Guyton with pick 29. Marshawn Nealon. Remember that name. Marshawn Nealon. Edge rusher for the Cowboys. Remember that name. Cooper BB in the 3rd round. Look forward to seeing him play as well. So these guys should get some run, should get some time this preseason. I'm going to go ahead and give you my grades on them for the preseason as we get along in that. All right, so over-unders for each team. Let me see if they can make it. So for the Eagles, right, they're set at 10.5 wins. I think they can hit that 10.5 if they don't have a meltdown like they had last year. Even with that meltdown, they still hit 10 wins, I believe. Cowboys 9-5. I'm gonna go to under here just because they lost so many pieces that have to gel. Like I said, they lost 2 main players on that offensive line. Your left tackle, you picked up Guyton, but again, he has to learn the game. And you have a rookie center in there as well, filling in for Tyler Biadasz. And these guys, not only are they rookies, but they're rookies to the Dallas Cowboys as well. So they're trying to learn this line. I'm going to go with under 9.5 for them, but not too far under. Maybe 9, maybe 8 for the Cowboys. For the Giants at 6.5, and the Commanders at 6.5. For the Giants, I think that's right. I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna give them 6 wins. But for the Commanders, I'm going over. I'm high on the Commanders this year. Not too high, but I got them on, finishing 3rd this year in this division. So for my My order for this division, as it stands right now, August 2nd, is Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, then the Giants for this division. The top 5 players in this division. I'm going with CD, not in order. CD, Micah, and Dak for the Cowboys, and then AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts for the Eagles. Also in this division, like I said, they got Bobby Wagner, who's the playmaker for that defense. They also have Kerry McLaurin. They also have Tyler Biadasz now. They, you never know what rookie JD could do. So they got Jaden Daniels as well. All right. One second. All right, sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulties, but we're right back at it. But yeah, so this division is loaded top to bottom. It's going to be a dogfight for this division. Also, if I had to rate the quarterbacks in this division, you see I got Dak and Jalen on here already. If I had to rank the division, I had to rate the quarterbacks, I'm going to go Dak, then Jalen, then Daniel Jones. I'm putting JD at the end because he's a rookie. Like you said. But speaking of ranking quarterbacks, my quarterback tier. Let's start there. You go ahead full screen this so y'all can see these guys. So on my quarterback tier, greatest quarterbacks in this league, I do not rank rookies or guys who have started less than 8 games. And as of today, these are the guys that are in pole position for their teams starting. Here's my list. I have 5 tiers. This is the 5th tier. All right. This is Geno. This is Kyler Murray. This is Bryce Young. Baker Mayfield. Daniel Jones. Sam Darnold. So these guys, they at the bottom tier for me. Like I said, I don't count rookies. I don't count players that started less than 8 games, or else, Aiden Connell might have been on this tier here. So these guys, they got to step up, or else these teams could be looking for the quarterback of the future. Some of these teams have picked up their quarterback of the future, like the Broncos and the Minnesota Vikings already. So they fighting to hold off the rookies at this point. My 4, trending down. As you can see, nice, good old nursing home in the back, rocking chair in the back with a football. Trending down. You got Matthew Stafford. You got Russell Wilson. You got Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and Derek Carr. These guys could still play, but they are not as good as they once were. I do remember a time where these guys, any one of these guys, could lead the league in passing. I don't see it anymore. That's just me. But they can change my mind. They can start climbing up this tier. And then I can put them in the solid tier. These are quarterbacks who I think not really special, but not bad at all. You can win plenty of games. Like I said, 3 of these guys were in NFC championship games. You got Dak Prescott. You got Brock Purdy. You have Kirk Cousins. You got Jared Goff. And you got Jalen Hurts. Again, great good quarterbacks, solid quarterbacks. You win with these quarterbacks. These quarterbacks will stabilize a franchise. My second tier is the young G's that can gun them out with you now. I think they're going to take a step up. I think they are going to lead their team to the playoffs. Some of these teams, one or two of these teams might even be in the championship round. But you got C.J. Stroud, you got Jordan Love, you got Trevor Lawrence, you have Justin Herbert. Get well. You know, he got the plantar fasciitis issue right now, but he rests up. And then you have Tua. Again, right now, these are young G's. I think these guys are on the rise. Or they could go the other way and be solid or wind up on that fifth tier. And then the top tier, the elite guys, the guys that's at the top of the mountain. You have Lamar Jackson, two-time MVP. You have Joe Burrow, who's been to an AFC championship game. And you have Josh Allen. I think these three guys, these are three of the top four. These are the top of the top. These are the elite quarterbacks, if you will. I'm not really a fan of the word elite because you can't define it. But these are the elite quarterbacks, if you will, the top tier. And then, come on, there's no other. There's no guy that's on his tier. This is Zero's GOAT tier. Only person that was on this tier with him was Tom Brady, and he retired. He's calling games with Fox. Other than that, GOAT tier. This man, amazing. All right, those are my QB tiers. All right, let me go ahead and get to. We just did it with the NFC East. I'm gonna go ahead and do it with the AFC East now. Just a preview of the AFC East. Coach rankings. Give me Sean McDermott first. Give me Mike McDonald second. Give me Robert Saleh third, and then the rookie Jared Mayo. Never seen him coach. This is his first time getting a head coaching opportunity. So he could jump Robert Saleh because I believe Saleh is on the hot seat this year. If Saleh doesn't get it done this year, he could be looking for employment elsewhere. Could go back to being a defensive coordinator somewhere. But I think for the most part, Robert Saleh is on the hottest of hot seats coming into this year. All right, so the arrivals of this division. You got Antonio Gibson just signed with the New England Patriots. Also, they signed Austin Hooper, Sion Taki from Cleveland, and Osane Yeminis out of from the Giants. Right? And then for the Jets, they got Tyron Smith from the Jets got Tyron Smith, they got John Simpson, they got Morgan Moses, they got Javon Kinlaw, and they got Hassan Reddick from the Eagles. Miami signed Jordan Brooks. They signed Kendall Fuller. They got Jordan Poyer from the Bills. They signed Johnny Smith, and they got Anthony Walker from Cleveland. Buffalo got Lyle Collins. They got Curtis Samuel, Mitch Trubisky, Will Clapp, and Deion Jones. New to this division. But the Bills did lose Stephon Diggs. They lost Jordan Poyer. They lost Trey White, Mitch Morse, and Gabe Davis. The Patriots lost Jalen Mills. They lost Ezekiel Elliott from last year, and they lost Mike Gesicki from last year. The Jets lost Bryce Huff, John Franklin Myers, Mekhi Becton, and Adrian Amos. The Dolphins lost Christian Wilkins. They lost Robert Hunt, Xavier Howard, Jerome Baker, and Andrew Van Ginkel. All right, so in the draft, Buffalo picked up Keon Coleman in the second round. They moved back a couple of times to pick Keon Coleman. They got Dwayne Carter, not Lil Wayne, not Lil Weezy, but they got Dwayne Carter. They got Ray Davis out of Kentucky, and then guard Cedric Van Pran out of Georgia. The Jets picked up tackle Olu Fashanu, from Penn State. They got Malachi Corley, wide receiver, running back Braylon Allen, and Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis. Miami picked up Chop Robinson. They picked up Patrick Paul. They picked up Jalen Wright. The New England picked Drake May, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, and Joe Milton. I think that was a good draft for them as well. So over under for each team, you got the Bills at 10.5. I'm going to go with the over. I think they win this division again. Jets, I am putting second in this division. But I may will go with the under. I think they get 9 wins, not 10. And it all depends on Aaron Rodgers' health. For the Dolphins, I have them finishing third. I think they lost too many free agent pieces. I'm going to go ahead and put them at an under. I think they get 8. And then the Patriots at 4.5. I'm actually going to give them over, but I'm giving them about 6 wins. So Vegas pretty much has my division standings. They picked it the same way I picked it: the Bills, Jets, Dolphins, and then Patriots. Picking or that 4. So in the top 5 of this division, give me Josh Allen and Deion Dawkins from the Bills. Give me Tyreek Hill from the Dolphins, and give me Sauce and Quinnen from the Jets. Also in this division, like I said, you got Jordan Poyer, who wants to win this division. No, Jordan Poyer wants to win. But yeah, and this is the top 5 for this division. That's what I'm picking. I said I like Keon. I also like Ray Davis for the Bills. I think Bills had a good draft. They picked a couple of guys I wanted to pick up. So it's my top 5 for this division. That's my top 5 for that division. Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. This is my last segment, y'all. Last segment that I'm bringing to you every week, since the show's called Al, You Buggin'? Am I really bugging? The 5 episodes of Hard Knocks offseason this year focus on the Giants from the beginning of the offseason period all the way up through the 2024 draft. Not to pile on because it's not an easy task at all. But the way the Giants come out looking was not favorable. There were tons of questionable moves made. The Saquon Barkley debacle with telling him to go out and look and come back. And then after speaking with his agent, they were only off by $1 million. I get squeezing every nickel, but Saquon is definitely worth that extra $1 million. I did enjoy the draft interview process and then meeting with the recruits and asking them questions. That's definitely my favorite part of this whole series. The draft day footage on day 1, I definitely applaud them denying those trades that came in from the Colts and from the Jets. They were patient in their draft. I like their draft skill. They didn't look frantic when they didn't get their quarterback that they wanted. Once those 3 quarterbacks left, they still stuck to their board. Where they picked, besides Marvin Harrison, they got the wide receiver that they covered, which was Malik Neighbors. And honestly, in my eyes, it's 1A, 1B to me until they prove different. All in all, it was a great program and took us behind the scenes at the most underrated part of the season. But I don't think the Giants franchise in year 100 looked like they were operating at their peak. All right, y'all. So Again, this is your boy Alan C. I look to come with a brand new show every week this year. Hopefully, preseason give me enough topics to cover for y'all. Not gonna keep you long, probably around 30 to 40 minutes each show. So I do thank y'all for locking in. Again, follow me on Instagram at Buggin, on YouTube at Buggin. Be blessed, be productive, be more. We love you. I'm out.